they were the cool guys with the cigarettes going like, yeah, that'll get you by.
Oh,
I'm the geek going, shit, this is awesome, man. And but so that was what it was like recording with them too. Like you'd record the song all day until you heard one. Eventually, somebody would go, let's listen to take 12 again. Now that'll probably get us by. That'll get us there. It was like, and that was the huge discussion went down. Like,
would drive
yeah,
me crazy. It would drive me crazy.
I was realizing, it took me years. Once I started working with other people in other bands, I started realizing, oh yeah, there are other cats like me that they're a little more sis boom ba, they're a
Yeah,
little,
yeah.
yeah. But that group was a very laid back group. So the drums at the time kind of had to have that, let's just take it easy. Kind of let's just be cool.
I remember growing up in Brooklyn and listening to this radio station, WPLJ
Mm.
FM. I don't know if you remember that station, big station. I think Jim Kerr was maybe one of the DJs. And I remember just when Refugee came on, I'm like, whoa. It sounded like the electric guitar with this punkier version of a Bob Dylan cat sing.
I get that. I
This
get that.
just so solid. I still get chills. I remember exactly where I was. There's a couple things in life I remember. I remember hearing that, and then I remember when John Lennon died, and that
Yeah.
was like where I was in that same downstairs in that room. You
Yeah.
remember when
Wow.
Lennon passed away?
Of
Whoa.
course. Yeah. I remember exactly where I was.
Where were you at?
I was at a place called the Starwood. It was a bar in Hollywood. And
Yeah.
I was sitting there watching one of my friends play. And he came out and he said, "This is for John Lennon, God damn it." And I thought, what an interesting say. Why is he mad at John Lennon? And then it went around the room like a joint. John Lennon was murdered. John Lennon was murdered. John Lennon was murdered. So he was saying, he was expressing his anger, and I was just in shock. I remember just I just put my drink down and went home, cried like a baby, and watched the news, and just went, huh? Like all of us, just going, my God,
Crazy.
he was he was my Kennedy. You know what I mean? He was,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. They were like, it was like huge. And
Well,
only
he's
when you think
the
about it
North Star.
now.
He still is a North Star. He's
Oh,
like, what would John Lennon do? Whatever it is, you won't be able to do it, but it would be really cool if you could. You know what I mean? Just guy, yeah. I mean, the more you learn, about his rhythm guitar playing, even just the little,
Lennon's great, solid rhythm. He had a
my
great
God,
rhythm.
yeah. The more you learn, you just go, oh my God, he was what was he 40 when he passed?
40 years. Think about that.
I know, like he's
At
just getting
then,
started.
40 seemed so old back then, right?
Just getting started, man. Just getting started.
And Stan, think about the career the Beatles had. Just a short. I was just talking about it with my wife. The Beatles really weren't a band that long.
8 years, 8 years.
It's like
That's it.
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and enduring, 200 years from now, we'll still be trying to figure out how they did I Want to Hold Your Hand live like that. It's amazing. It's just
It,
amazing.
Say that someday I
even
wanna.
Ringo's playing the lefty, the way his mistakes, like on
Yeah.
Ticket to Ride, like that delay, like you can't imitate it. It's just
It,
killer.
it's that incredible combination of intellect, charisma, talent, like when it all comes together and beauty and youth and it's like, and the times, the world needed that, man. We needed to be bitch slapped. You know what I mean? It was like, and man, they just pistol whipped us, man, woke us all up. I mean, I remember the Ed Sullivan show the next day. Every kid in school was pulling their hair over their ears, trying to look like it was that big a deal. The next morning was like, oh wow. But yeah, yeah, the Beatles, the Stones, all of it was like too much for me as a kid. It just,
I'm a music lover of all the music from the 50s and 60s is what I grew up with, and I love it. I mean, the Beatles was like the Bible as a kid. The American release, staring at that Meet the Beatles and their Cuban heels, and the bio, John Lennon, no, 24, and Ringo was the oldest cat.
well, yeah.
You meeting Ringo for the first time, did you trip yourself out a little bit? Like, I'm talking to Ringo here.
Oh,
This is
sure. I lost it. Yeah, I've told this story. We were playing with Dylan in London. And there's a part in the Dylan set where Dylan doesn't need a band, so we all leave and he plays 4 or 5 songs acoustically. And I looked over and I saw Ringo and Barbara Bach sitting on my flight case. So I thought, well, this is an opportunity. I can probably, because you don't want to meet someone of that caliber and just without having something to say, or hopefully they might want to meet you. So, but a guy came over to me, goes, "Hey, would you like to meet Ringo?" And I'm like, "Well, of course." So as I'm walking over there, it's my head is swimming. And what came out of my mouth when I went to shake his hand was something to the effect of, "Oh, Ringo, I want to thank you for my haircut, my car, and I'm trying to thank him for my life, essentially." And I'm looking at him and I'm just slobbering like a moron. And I remember it. He's considerably shorter than me, but he gave me a hug and he whispered right in my ear and he said with the perfect Liverpudlian accent, he goes, "I know. I like every drummer craps the bed when they meet Ringo." It's like, because you all, you just go, well, he's my reason why I threw my life away. It's like, but it was just hysterical that I couldn't just go, "Oh, wow, really nice to meet you, Ringo. My name's Stan. I'm playing this gig tonight. You want to come up and play?" Or, like I could have said anything, but
You couldn't have been human. You just the inner kid came out of you.
I lost it. I literally lost it. And I was literally, when he said, "I know, I burst into tears. I was crying like a 12-year-old girl who somebody just stole their Barbie. I was, I was crestfallen, and that he even acknowledged, I was heartbroken that I blew it out my ass, but I was thrilled that he at least acknowledged me. So it was,
That's all we have time for today, but don't worry, we have more Stan coming your way. In the meantime, make sure you check out the Speaker Wars. You could order their music. Just go right into the descriptions down below. And if you want to see this episode unedited, become a member, join the club right here on YouTube. Now click on your screen for our next episodes and make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications tab, and don't forget to drop us a comment down below. Let's start a conversation. I want to hear from you. Who loves you, baby? We do. Thanks for watching.